It's still the ballot 2023, and we are live at Plus TV Africa Studios here in Victoria Island, Lagos. Now, we have been talking education and in some way trying to set the pace for the new government that will be sworn in. And we are also being joined by Akin Akinpelu, and he's also joining us via Zoom. Akin, let's start with you. I have had a conversation with you before about education, and we talked mostly about what's happening in Lagos State and how the government has keyed in. But I'll ask you a question that I asked the professor earlier on. There seems to be a growing narrative that the average Nigerian politician wants to keep the average Nigerian down, ill-educated, ill-equipped with the necessary information about good governance and leadership, hence the level of education that we have. Is this something that you'd agree to or disagree to?
All right. Thank you very much, Marianne. So if I get a question, well, you said every average politician is trying to make it ill-equipped, right?
Yes.
I guess that's the flow of the question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, fantastic. So I would say that, when it's at political level, there are many ways to be able to judge, and that's why I always talk about intention. Then after intention, we begin to look at actionable plans that come out of it. So the idea is anybody can promise you anything. Anybody can tell you, this is what I want to do. This is the impact I want to make. And these are the directions that we are looking at. As beautiful as that sounds, that is still a promise and is still an intention. Then you begin to look at the actionable plans that come out of it. Now, you check, but the plans that the person is rolling out and the actions that are being taken, you can tell whether the person is in the direction of the promises that is being made or not. So I think that these things they're very simple to understand, but it's just that it's tricky because at the level of intention, you may not be able to say exactly whether this person can bring out what he has planned or not. But one of the things that I think you can use to judge are things like, number one, use metrics like track record. So if you look at the track record of the person and you are able to say, okay, before now, what were the things that this person did? What were the things that were ruled out? What were the things that they fulfilled in those times? You can tell whether there is, that's like an integrity test. That's like a competency test that you can tell about the person. So ideally, every human being have their intentions, but you cannot tell. But the moment the actions begin to come out and you see the direction they go, you can almost tell that, okay, by the integrity test and commitment test, you could almost tell whether this person is in this direction or in that direction. So if somebody is trying to render maybe a particular administration or a sector ill-equipped, particularly if we talk upon education, we can tell. There are track record that we can see and there are things we can tell. Not just to look at, the person has good promises for us and all of that. So I think that should be the flow of the conversation around it. So trying to look at the track record, then you can see the integrity test from that and commitment test from that. I hope that helps, Miriam.
I want to bring Akin Akinpelu into this discussion because we've talked about the issue of infrastructure, we've talked about the issue of out-of-school children. Let's talk about the teachers themselves, which seems to be another major problem we have in the education sector. Over time, we've heard reports of tests being conducted for teachers, and they have failed, those tests, and then they are expected to teach our children to be better people in the society. What more can be done to salvage the education sector vis-a-vis having the right crop of teachers, teach in the classrooms? Akin.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me well now.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can.
we can.
So the problem of the educational system in Nigeria is quite, it's been of age and it's quite a difficult one, because listening to the conversations and the intelligent contributions of other people. I've heard leadership a lot. I've heard the redesign of curriculum, which is very, very true. Now, let me add to that quote there, that we have this generation of teachers and educators that need a conversion program. And I will tell you this, there is a lot. I mean, the people who came into education as teachers, now these people came either they are teachers by circumstances or teachers without passion. When I come into, because I've been to the classroom before, and because I've been to the classroom, I have the knowledge of the classroom, then the policy making and all of that. If I have no passion for what I am doing, how am I going to help the students out? Where is the patience level? Now, the times before now, when people learn in the classroom, everybody are audio learners. Your teachers come into the class, they write in the classroom, you listen to them, you write what they are saying, and then they give you a test. You try to regurgitate exactly what they said to you, and they mark you. Now, things have changed. Our curriculums are quite obsolete. The teachers and the executors of those things are also quite obsolete. I think Professor Elea was saying that the professors that we have, when last did they profess? I mean, you're a professor because you are writing something. You are writing a paper daily, you are getting better in knowledge because this thing it increases, it changes almost every minute or every second. Now, nobody's developing themselves again. The same knowledge you used in your pedagogic application like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, what I call the typewriter generation, is the same thing you want to bring to teach. So number one, you came into the teaching sector or education sector with the wrong motivation. Maybe you were not motivated, so you were a teacher by circumstance. You wanted to do a course, that's why they gave you this, and they gave you education maybe because you didn't do well. Some because you felt there's nothing else you can do with your life, then you just go into education. Then you come with that same energy, you come with that same deep motivated spirit into the classroom. You are not getting better. You are not understanding the student. You don't get to understand that, because a teacher in the classroom is not just a teacher. You are serving as a coach, as an advisor, as a leader, as a temporary parent, as a mentor. You are wearing about 8 caps. It takes a lot to be able to help them. Let me give you an example. Many years ago when I was in the classroom, there used to be a lady, let me call her Jane. Now, Jane was a girl in the classroom that just wanted to be expelled from school. So she would do anything to ensure that you see her publicly so that she can be expelled. So she would misbehave. And everybody kept telling me that, come, there's a problem with this child. Don't go near this child. This child is going to be rude. At the end of the day, you think we teachers here before you, you think that we are stupid. By the time you get your own part of the insult, then you will know that you didn't respect yourself enough. And I took my time and I said, I need to study this girl. There's something wrong with this girl. What is the root cause? Because every emotional outburst has an emotional root cause. So it takes patience. Sitting down with the child, understanding the child, then calling the child, speaking the language the child can understand. Listen, it takes a lot to be a teacher. So bringing it to the national level and the educational sector, we need a new generation of teachers. We need teachers who can be trained, retrained. We need some teachers to leave the sector, not because they can't teach, but because they have refused to be adaptable. They don't want to adapt to the things that are needed to help the children. We always say that the wiser the teacher, the better the student. And the better the teacher, the greater the students in the future. So I think that we need to remove some set of teachers. I think that a lot of training needs to go into it, and 21st century learning training, and where the teachers can understand that what you are doing is by passion. And of course, there are lots of things that we expect the government to do in their own part in terms of providing resources, providing atmospheres for the training, and ensuring that the students are reaching the bar, the teachers rather, are doing what they are doing on a daily basis.
All right, thank you so much. Akin could just go on and then continue. But we have to go. Yes, we have to.
We want to say thank you to all our guests who have been a part of the conversation. I want to say thank you very much to Professor Louis Nzegu. He is a professor of business at the Lagos Business School. Dr. Bola Oyeleye, who's an educationist who joined us from the United States, and Akin Akinpelu, who is the principal consultant at Rudio Hope. Thank you so much, gentlemen and lady, for being part of the conversation. We appreciate it.